Hello and welcome to today's Here's to Your Health podcast. I'm Don Linsman, Executive Director of Marketing and Development at Crawford County Memorial Hospital. My guest on the podcast today is Kylee LeFebvre. Kylee is a new ARNP here at CCMH in our medical clinic. And Kylee, thank you for joining me today.
Yeah, you're welcome.
You know, we're going to start out today the way I usually like to start, and that's at the beginning. And so I understand, that you got a fair amount of education. You can't get to be an ARNP unless you do. So tell us a little bit about your educational background, where you started, where you got your degrees, and we'll kind of go from there.
So things started with my nursing education quite a while ago. I actually graduated from Western Iowa Tech Community College in Sioux City in 2011 as a registered nurse. And then I worked as a nurse for about, 11 years. But in that time I decided I wanted to go back for my bachelor's, and I felt the Briar in Sioux City was the most appropriate place, or a place where I really wanted to go because they have great history with nursing. So after I finished my bachelor's, I decided I didn't want to stop there, so I continued on with my master's for family nurse practitioning. So.
And that seems to be a pretty natural progression anymore for a lot of nurses, that once you gradually gain more education and more knowledge, it just seems to make sense that you go to that next level.
Yeah, it does. And a lot of times people they might not go for nurse practitioning, they might go for education or things like that too. But a lot of times, yes, they just continue on.
And you chose to go to a path that was more of a general practice, although as a nurse practitioner you can get specialties as well, correct?
Yes, you can. But like you said, it's just more general practice. So.
My guest on the podcast today is Kylee LeFebvre. Kylee is an ARNP here at CCMH, just beginning her practice. And we're talking with her today to get to know a little bit more about her. So your nursing background, let's talk a little bit about where you were and what you did.
As a nurse, I actually worked here at CCMH for 5 to 6 years. And then when I left here, I actually went to vascular specialty in the Dunes.
Did you like that? Did you like the vascular side of that?
There was a huge learning curve, but I learned so much.
Yeah, I was going to say, so you were working in the hospital at that point when you were here with CCMH.
Here, yes.
Right. Mm-hmm. And then when you went to the vascular specialties up in the Dunes, that's a totally different sort of world that you'd necessarily, end up in. What did you find fascinating about that?
I think it was just everything was new, and it was kind of a challenge, but I like challenges. So, one day I was actually standing there and they were like, it's like a whole new language, isn't it? Like everything that they were saying, it's just like, oh my gosh. You learn about vascular and things like that in school, but it's when you're in it deep, it's a lot. So.
And obviously, that kind of opened the door for you to want to go on and do more kinds of things, which is actually a really wonderful part of it. I think that for a lot of people, their education, once they get past their education, they tend to stop learning, because if I get to a place where I'm pretty happy, then I really am not all that interested in learning more. I'm done, I'm finished, I'm moving on from that. But in your case, that wasn't true.
Yeah, no, I feel like in healthcare, you have to want to keep learning because everything is always changing. So.
I've been told that education and healthcare have this in common. It's all about the letters behind your name, which I certainly can sign on to. And there are no letters behind my name, by the way. I'm not a doctor. I could play one on television, I think, after being here for 12 years, but I'm not a doctor, so I get all of that. So you went through all of that, you did your ARNP training, and then you decided to come home to CCMH. What attracted you to come back here, Kylee?
Well, I always kind of had the feeling it would be nice to get, closer to home, which would be Mapleton, and it just seems, when this spot was available, it just seemed like the right time, the right place. And it all worked out, so I'm very happy about that.
My guest on the podcast today is Kylee LeFebvre. Kylee is an ARNP here at CCMH who's just starting her practice, and we're talking about her education and experience and her practice and how she is open to just about any patient who wanders in the front door. So let's talk about that a little bit. You'd like to do a very general practice and see all kinds of people.
Yeah. What is great about the Family Nurse Practitioner program is it allows you to see basically everyone across the lifespan. So, I can see babies all the way up to adult patients to geriatric patients. So it's, leads for a good variety too, so not every day is exactly the same, and a lot of fun with different people. So
is there any part of that spectrum that you have an interest in seeing more of?
I do. I haven't been able to see kids recently, so it's kind of like it'd be fun to get back into seeing, more children, adolescents, that kind of stuff, just because I haven't been able to, and, they're fun.
So when we were talking a little bit earlier, Kylee, the question came up, how do people get in touch with you? If they want to make an appointment, what will they need to do?
Really, all they would have to do is call the hospital at 712-265-2700 and ask for me.
And we also have a website where you can go request an appointment. So if you'd like to go there instead, ccmhia.com. You can request an appointment with Kylee there as well, and we'll get you scheduled in, and away we go. Kylee, welcome back to CCMH, and let me be the first to wish you well in this new endeavor.
Yeah, thank you so much.
My guest on the podcast today has been Kylee LeFebvre. Kylee is an ARNP here at CCMH, who's just starting her practice. Again, if you would like to make an appointment to see her, the number in the CCMH Medical Clinic to make appointments is 712-265-2700, or you can go online at ccmhia.com and you can request an appointment there. I'm Don Lintzman, Executive Director of Marketing and Development at Crawford County Memorial Hospital. We care for life.